Chanda m'arrêter, mes amis,
ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée.
Oh, eh, wa.
Ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée.
Mes amis,
ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée.
mes amis,
ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Papa m'a donné l'argent café l'eau. Boss de ose, c'est celle de moi qui va faire. Papa me connaît qui j'ai ça dépassé. Chaud jamouté comme qu'est-ce qu'il y a moi pas l'hôtel pour café. Papa me gaspiller dans grand chimé. Mes amis, wow. Ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Mes amis, wow, lolo. Ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Maman man calme, ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Mes amis, wow, lolo. Ça m'a dit la caille.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's a pleasure to be back in here. I'm hoping that I'm inside your house and you're watching, and you're going to invite three friends to call three other friends, and tell them to watch the MIH on Teleeagle. That's www.teleeagle.com, all throughout Palm Beach County. You can watch us on 57.2. So if you're watching us right now, you already know where you're watching, but you can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to watch Teleeagle right now, because we're about to make it happen. My guest is Andy Schaller. And we are going to talk about the county commission. Not too often that we address the county commission seats, but this time around we're addressing every single seat possible, and we're planning to bring as many of the candidates possible. We're sending invitations to everyone, and Andy has said hello to our invitation, and he's here. And les trois amis, dis-toi amis, ça, les trois autres amis. Ou ap gade MIH avec Salusa. Making it happen with Salusa. Andy, how are you today, sir?
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. You're running for District
6.
You're running for District 6 commission, the commission seat. And where exactly does your seat cover?
The county is divided into 7 different districts. The district that I'm running for, which you have to live in, is District 6. You need to live in the district you're running for. District 6 goes from North Lake Boulevard down along the Turnpike to Lake Worth Road, west of the Turnpike, and takes in the entire western communities of the Glades, from the south border of Broward County, South Bay, all the way up north to Canal Point at the northern border of Martin County. So it's Royal Palm, Wellington, Loxahatchee, little versions of West Palm are tucked in there, South Bay, Pahokee, Belglade.
Well, this is wonderful. We've learned the district, and we're going to be talking, when we come back, we're going to be talking to Andy about his personal life, because we want to know who he is, where does he come from, and we're going to do that in a few. We're going to take a quick break. We're coming back.
Jackpot. Jackpot? Jackpot. 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 Pari au projet scratch-off Jackpot Family Lottery Florida. Avec un gros prime d'à $2 millions. En pile jackpot, ral tombé. Est-ce qu'on pari pour pari yo? Tiens, regarde le type. Lottery Florida, juste imaginez.
Rassemblez pour le chansouillot, parce que gagne un tout nouveau jouet dans la ville. Bye bye Mega Money, allo Lucky Money. Avec plus chance toujours, jusqu'à $2 millions jackpot, pico prime toujours. Et puis chance pour gagner $500 sous place avec Easy Match. C'est jouet qui gagne plus chance dans le moment.
Maman voye m'pese café, oh. En arrivant moins sous portail, aïe aïe, un gendarme arrêté moi. Maman voye m'pese café, oh. En arrivant moins sous portail, un gendarme arrêté moi. Mes amis,
ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée.
oh, eh, wa.
Ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée.
Mes amis,
ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée.
mes amis,
Ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Papa m'a donné l'argent café l'eau. Boss de ose, c'est celle de moi qui va faire. Papa connaît qui j'ai ça dépassé. Chose à monter comme qu'est-ce qu'il y a moi pas l'antenne pour café. Papa me gaspiller dans grand chimé. Mes amis, wow. Ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Mes amis, wow, lolo. Ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Maman man calme, ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Mes amis, wow, lolo.
It's election time. And 866,000 of you out there have the capacity to vote. 266,000 of those who have the right to vote are Republican. 365 are Democrats, and the rest are independent. They do whatever they want. 145,000 are Haitian Americans. 45,000 of the 145,000 voted in the last election. 22,000 of you are super voters. We would like to bring more to the platform. We would like all 145,000 of you to go out and vote. We would like for you to know who you're voting for. In addition to that, we would like to make sure that the 45,000 who voted the last election, every single one of you go back to the poll and vote for who you want to vote. We're not here to influence your thoughts. We're not here to influence your way of life, but we want you to influence your own way of life by making a decision that you feel that is best for yourself and your children. The people that we bring here are making decisions for you, and on your water bill, the light bill, the ground that you walk on, the grass in front of your house, in the back of your yard, whether you can plant a garden in the backyard or in the front yard, whether you can put a porch up front or in the back, whatever it is, whatever decision you're going to be making in this county, the elected officials will be helping you with that. For those of you who have family members who have immigration problems, those candidates that are coming in here also have the rights to make decisions for you. Not at the county commission, but they can always make a phone call. So this is why it's important for you to vote and make sure that your decision does go on the ballot. You do not go without voting. 145,000 of you right now have the rights to vote, so let's go and exercise our rights to vote. My guest here is Andy Schaller. He is running for County Commission seat number 6. He told you earlier that his seat starts from North Lake to Lake Worth, along the turnpike, across to go west, all the way west to South Bay. That means South Bay, Belle Glade, Pahokee, and everything in between. Royal Palm, Wellington, and the acreage. So take a seat and let's talk. Andy, Mr. Schaller, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. Andy, please.
Andy. All right. So, but when they go out to vote, would it be Andy that they're looking for, or would they be looking for Schaller?
It'll say My given name, my legal name is Andrew.
Andrew.
My nickname is Andy.
But you have both of them in there.
I do. It'll say Andrew, Andy.
And Andy in parentheses.
Correct.
Schaller.
That's correct.
Could you spell your last name, please?
Schaller is Schaller. Andrew.
All right, so now you know the name, you know the individual. Now let's find out a little bit more about the individual that we're talking about. Schaller, where is that name from?
My father is German and of German origin, and my mother is first generation here Italian. So I have a mixture on my dad's side of the old world German style, and my mother's side brings the Italian style in.
So you're first generation American, which understands the immigration plot.
I'm second generation to my mom. My mom's first.
Your
Correct.
mom's first generation.
My dad is third, so I'd be fourth now.
Oh, okay. So but you do understand the plot of the immigrants in this country.
I definitely understand that.
With that being said, let's move forward to where were you born?
I was born in a little town in northwest Connecticut called Torrington. It's just a little west of, about 30 miles west of Hartford, and in the Litchfield County area, just a little bit, about 20 minutes or so north of Waterbury.
Looking at your district and where you're from, which town would you say would match your town in that district?
Well, I'd probably say more the Glades. My town was a town many years ago that had about 20 different industrial manufacturing companies in the surrounding area. And in the rolling hills, there was a lot of farming. So I would say we were most like the Glades, but with a touch of maybe on the outskirts, definitely, but a little bit of the Royal Palm for a downtown center.
So I think you just got yourself some votes there. I mean, looking at your district is it's a beautiful district. It's a rich district, very rich in the county. Your district carries the entire county.
Well,
financially.
Maybe, and the reason I say that is you have 40+% unemployment in the Glades, so you'll have a zip code that's among some of the most impoverished area. That's 40-some-odd% with legals. With illegals, the numbers are as high as around 70%. That's some of the most hard-hit area possibly in this county. But then you are correct when you take in Wellington and the Aero Club and some of the different golf course communities, the Ibises up around North Lake. So you really have some of the most expensive zip codes and some of the most impoverished zip codes.
I'm going to come back to the Glades. I'm going to come back to the numbers that we're talking about of being unemployed. And but right now, I would like to also I'm going to come back to the legals and illegals,
okay,
which is always something that I love to throw at the candidates because I have a different view of things. Up until when were you still at the town where you're from?
When I was 18, I came to Florida. My father was a mailman, my mother was an administrative assistant for a social worker's office, and they started saving for my sister, who's 2 years older than me, to go to college pretty much before we were born, or at least the time of our birth. They knew the value of an education, and they wanted to give us a life better than what they had themselves. So I came here when I was 18, 31 years ago. I went to school in a little town called St. Leo. It's next to Zephyr Hills, just north of Tampa. I stayed there for 4 years with my college career.
College?
I did, St. Leo College. Many people from the islands at St. Leo College.
Yeah.
Got my first Caribbean flair from my experience.
You met quite a bit of Haitians at St. Leo College.
Without a doubt, there was Haitian.
The soccer team had a few guys on there. I played at St. Leo College all 4 years, 2 years, two.
Well, the gentleman that played for us his name was Butchie Burchell, who was from Bermuda, and he was on the Bermudan national team, and they used to fly him in and out to represent Bermuda as the goalkeeper at that time. But yeah, I first met friends from Antigua, Aruba, Barbados, Turks and Caicos, St. Kitts, St. Bart's. I got introduced to the international buffet with the different the different foods and everything else. It was a great experience.
The first unofficial Haitian student conference happened at St. Leo College. That was the preparation for the major state conference back in 2000. But in 1985, we had the first unofficial conference happening at St. Leo College.
I was there from 83 to 87. I was there.
Wow. We crossed. I was on your campus coming in and play from 85 to 89. So my first 2 years in college, we probably crossed. If you played soccer, you would have seen each other.
I didn't have the wind for soccer. I got tired quickly. I respected those who did.
And the other thing is St. Leo College also gave you a perspective for the district that you're living in right now.
It did. The biggest thing that I was able to see that I didn't have growing up in a small pocket of New England was the flair of everybody else's cultures and other ways of living, other ways of thinking. And without a doubt, that being a rural area up there definitely reflects that of the Glades, because instead of having sugar and vegetables, the area all around St. Leo was owned by Minute Maid and Coca-Cola for oranges.
Oranges.
So big citrus county.
Huge.
Yeah, very much.
When did you come to South Florida, and how did you get to South Florida? What brought you here as an immigrant to South Florida?
In my junior year, friends of mine from Connecticut, from Torrington, had moved to Boynton Beach. So starting in 85, 86, 87, I was coming over on the weekends, making the drive from St. Leo to Boynton Beach.
You like the beach?
I wanted more. I knew that there was more, and I had an opportunity with school to meet different friends. I started going to the Gables with some friends. I went to Bike Week up in Daytona.
Oh, wow.
I learned everything there was about Clearwater and the Gulf side, and I just knew that I wanted to be an area where there was prosperity so that I could realize my and my parents' dreams. And in 1987, when I graduated, it was April of 87, I moved to Boynton Beach.
Well, moving into Boynton Beach, what exactly did you do from that point until now? Are you still living in Boynton Beach?
No, I live in Wellington.
Okay.
In 87, I took my stockbroker's license and I became a stockbroker in Boca. Worked there for a number of years and then went to First Nationwide Bank. They were the third largest thrift in the U.S., owned by Ford. I did some of the fixed income investing for all the branches in Palm Beach and Broward counties. And I worked also in between to some more brokerage firm, another brokerage firm in Boca. And then in 1992, I went to work for a software company in Jupiter, because instead of dialing the phone 300 to 500 times a day, I wanted to learn program trading. So I went for the sake of learning computers, and that's when I realized that there was a whole world out there for electronic banking. And in 1994, I created my own company called Palm Beach Financial Exchange that does reoccurring transactions for places like Gold's Gym, World's Gym, Powerhouse Gym, boat storage, mini storage, condo associations, church tithing. And it's been 20 years as of April 14th that's what I've done very happily.
Well, it's a pleasure to have Andy here with us. We've learned so much about Andy in a short time. We know that 1 hour is not enough for us to go through his life and depict his entire life, but at least we have an idea of who he is. When we come back, we're going to learn a little bit more about his family, how big of a family does he have, and we already know where he lives within the district, and how his plan to change his district and the county as a whole, if he makes it to his post. This is the MIH. I am yours truly, the one and only, Salusa. I'll be right back.
Jackpot! Jackpot? Jackpot! 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 Pari ou pou jwet scratch-off jackpot family loterie Florida. Ak yon gros prime d'ako $2 million. En pile jackpot, ral tombe. Est-ce pare pou pa ou yo? Loterie Florida, juste imaginer.
rassemble boule chansou yo, parce que gen yon tout nouveau jouet dans la ville là. Bye bye Mega Money, allo Lucky Money, avec plus chance toujours, jusqu'à 2 millions de dollars jackpot, Pico prime toujours, et puis chance pour gagner 500 dollars sous place avec Easy Match. C'est jeu qui gagne plus chance dans le moment.
Maman voye m'pese café, oh. En arrivant moins sous portail, aïe aïe, yon gendarme arrêté moi. Maman voye m'pese café, oh. En arrivant moins sous portail, yon gendarme arrêté moi. Mes amis,
ça m'a dit la caille, elle est arrivée.
Oh, et ouais.
Ça m'a dit la caille, elle est arrivée.
Mes amis,
ça m'a dit la caille, elle est arrivée.
mes amis.
Andy Schaller, the proven force you want to work with. that's your little statement.
It is. Reason I say that is I don't know anybody that when they put their heart into something that has the drive and determination that I do. I have the ability to see something from concept to completion, and I get really focused on what's important, and I can get the completed task done while still learning along the way so that the end product is better than what I ever even imagined.
Family. How big is the family? Do you have one? I mean,
I do. I'm one of two children with my parents. I have a sister who's living out in LA. She's a 24-year teacher and an actress. I have my mom and my dad. That's immediate family, and I'm an unmarried man right now. I've never been married, no kids.
No kids, okay. Why run for office?
Well, that's a standard question that seems to be asked always, and in one simple line is I never want anybody in this county to be treated by this county the way that I have been. I have been working to get the county to see the error of their ways on a road construction project for about 6 years, and about 3 weeks ago they finally opened up the bids and they're going to fix what I had brought to their attention.
From way back when?
From 2008, 6 years.
Sometimes being on a different platform, you say, well, if I wasn't on this platform, I would have they would have done this to me. You would think with the short bio that I just got from you right now, telling me about your life, I would assume that it wouldn't be hard for you to just walk up to the county commission and say, hey, you know what, I'm a hardworking man. I've worked for the past 20 years to build a life for myself right here. And there's a mistake in my neighborhood, and I would like to see that change. How can we work together to change that? But somehow that's not the experience that you've had.
That's wonderful textbook, but the reality of working with government, it doesn't work that way. You're correct. My business is logic and computers. The day that the phone didn't ring is a fantastic day because we designed a system that didn't cause anybody to have to call in. It's user friendly. It's doing the same thing over and over again, so it's easy to perfect something that happens over and over. With the county commission, because there are so many different twists and turns, every neighborhood's not the same, every road's not the same, that type of thing. But the county was preparing to do something differently with this particular road that they had never done in 100 years. So it was real easy for me to go forward and say, you're doing something differently that's not per county policy. Let's do something different. And let's do it the way that it was originally supposed to be done. The problem, again, with government moving so slowly is plans had already started, bidding had already started to be done, and we couldn't quite catch up with the project that was at hand and existing and about ready to start. So then the delays came, and then the lack of funds and a few other things. Well, it was unfortunate that the county, when they did the improvements that they were doing, they did it to the detriment of the existing road that I was trying to have them fix. Many years later, they saw the errors of the way. They found some opportunity to fix their mistakes through the public funding, and all's well that ends well. And 6 years later, everybody on the county side and on the resident side will end up being happy.
That's wonderful. It's nice. It's nice to know that we have a candidate that faced the hard times from the outside in. Now, when you're on the inside, you will at least take the time to listen to little people like myself who will walk up and say, "Hey, something's wrong in my neighborhood."
I was very fortunate with my business. I do about 50% of my business in the first 5 days of the month, and then right around the 15th, I do 30 to 40% of the remainder. So I had a lot of free time. And I knew that if I, with the free time, could not get something done in a reasonable amount of time, that it would take years to have what anybody else would consider to be common sense, but just not necessarily the way county government works or any government works, that anybody that had a regular job that was entrusting their representative to do that job and represent them didn't have a fighting chance unless they had somebody that knew the system and knew how to have the system work for the residents before they ever got there. Otherwise, sitting in that chair and trying to figure it out just is the wrong time as you're deciding people's lives and spending their money.
District 6, you have opponents.
I do.
And how do you feel going against your opponents right now at this point in the game?
Well, there's two opponents right now that all three of my opponents are ladies. The two Democratic opponents have a primary, and they'll decide who moves forward to the general election on August 26th. The third lady is the daughter of the sitting commissioner, who is registered as no party affiliation, so she does not have a primary. I am the Republican, and I do not have a Republican challenger. So I bypass August 26th, and I go straight to November 4th on the ballot. Between the two challengers of mine and myself, whoever emerges from the Democrats, I don't believe you can compare backgrounds to qualify for this job. An example, the county budget is about $4 billion of collected taxes. Once you take away the fixed expenses of mortgages, contracts, things of that nature, there's about $920, $930 million left over. Seems like a lot of money. But the sheriff's budget is about $470 million. So you really only have the entire 1.3 million people in the county, the vast size of this county, you only have a few $100 million. And when I say a few, just remember that's not a lot of money per person for all of the beaches, all of the roads, anything that needs to be done with a county building. And in my business, I've handled more than 550 businesses across the U.S. and Puerto Rico. I have handled more than $1 billion of other people's money in this business alone, not including my investment days. And I don't believe that anybody has the financial background that I do to be able to sit up there and look at the county budget and make those tough decisions, along with the application of that knowledge that I've gained by pretty much not missing any of the county meetings, commission meetings in the last 6 years.
Your district, I'm about to jump into one thing because Telebo is a Haitian American station. Your district covers a wide range of our voters, from South Bay, Belgrade, because of the way that we came into this country. The focus is in Wellington, Royal Palm, the acreage. We do have a large portion of us, and a very large portion of the voters happens. The super voters are in your district, about 14,000. About 14,000 of them are there, starting in Belgrade all the way over to Lakewood. And we do have some of the riff-raff voters. Let me use that word. Don't you dare use that word. You may lose some word. People who haven't voted in a while, and there's a reason for that, because a lot of them are new Americans. They're newly arrived Americans. They just turned to become an American citizen. They haven't had the chance to really go out and vote. They have their reasons for becoming an American citizen, which voting was not the first reason. Now we have to train them, prepare them, and tell them the importance of going out to vote. In your own word, how would you address them right now? How much of experience have you had within the Haitian community? Do you going in? How would you address to get the bulk of them, the great majority of those who have the right to vote, to come out and vote for Andy? Why should they vote for you right now?
Well, first of all, I believe everybody should vote, but there's a certain responsibility with the vote, is you need to understand who or what you're voting for, whether it's the person or the issue. In the past election in Wellington, which was in the March municipal elections, there was only 11% turnout. So think about this: if you stand on the sidewalk and you watch 100 people go by, randomly pick 11, that's what's going to, those people are going to be the ones that decide what goes on in your best interest in that particular municipality. In March, the decision in the Palm Beach Shores mayoral race, I believe, was 1 vote. In Wellington, 2 years ago, the difference was...
Wait, where was this?
Palm Beach Shores.
Could you repeat that again?
1 vote.
Wait,
1 vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. 1 vote. And was it
The mayor election.
A decisive? Was that a decisive boycott of the election?
No, there wasn't 1 vote cast. The difference between the winner and loser was 1 vote.
Oh, I was going to say, whoa, I'm like, 1 vote casted? Whoa.
No, I apologize for presenting it that way. The difference was 1 vote.
The difference was 1 vote. Well, that there goes to and this is why the question that I asked earlier, with all these individuals that we have that are with the capacity of voting, how important it is to have each individual to go out and vote. When you have a difference of 1 vote, or the difference of 18 vote, or a difference of 20 vote. So each and every one of you who are watching right now can make a difference in any election in Palm Beach County. Most of the elections in Palm Beach County have not been won with, like 200,000 votes or what have you. It's like, 2,000 to 2,500 to, I'd say, 15,000.
In Wellington in 2012, the difference, now Wellington has a population of 50,000 people. Some of them do not stay during the non-equestrian time, but still, in a town of about 50,000 people, the race for the mayor was decided by less than 55 votes. So it really does matter that much. You have a say, you have a responsibility in the say, and if for whatever reason you do not vote, it's hard to complain about what happens around you if you're not part of the process. That's why you need to educate and vote. Vote educated. If you find a particular candidate that you like, do some more homework. Do something else into their background, because during campaign season, people like to present the good side. They don't present all sides. You definitely need to look into the candidate as an individual. For example, if somebody can't handle their own money financially, it's hard to put them in place to handle $4 billion of your money for 4 years, and you can't fire them. So what I was always told in sports, I played baseball, basketball, it was drilled into my head that what you do in practice, you'll do in the game. Well, when I was a stockbroker, if you couldn't handle your own money and never filed bankruptcy, you lost your license to handle money for somebody else. So I would say, as you're looking at your candidates, whoever they happen to be, money is such an important part. If they can't handle their own personal finances, they're probably not going to do a great job of handling the county at large.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Schaller, your candidate for District 6, is here talking to you, making his points, hoping that your views are his views. We're going to come back in a few minutes and take a look at Andy Schaller, the candidate himself, and what plans he has for the upcoming election. How does he plan to win, and how you can help in helping him to win the election. Do you have someone in your house who would like to learn a little bit more about the electoral process? Would you like to volunteer for Andy's camp, to work with him, go knock on door with him? Do you have a child that needs community service hours? This is the MIH. Tele-Ibo is making it happen with yours truly, the one and only, Salusa. We'll be right back.
Rassemblez boule chansou yo, parce que gen yon tout nouveau jouet dans la ville là. Bye bye Mega Money, allo Lucky Money, avec plus chance toujours, jusqu'à 2 millions de dollars jackpot, pico prime toujours, et puis chance pour gagner 500 dollars sous place avec Easy Match. C'est jouet qui gagne plus chance dans le moment.
Tenid, c'est directrice Siena Education Center. En dans l'école là qui ça n'a joué. Nous avons un programme qui commence depuis l'an Home Health Aid, CNA, phlebotomy, Patient Care Technician, LPN qui est Licensed Practical Nursing avec RN Registered Nursing Program. En dans l'école là nous commençons tout petit avant nous grandir. Et l'on fin diplômé sans joindre. Nous menons chita pour faire licence. Licence depuis CNA jusqu'à RN. Alors en dans CNA nous là pour nous aider à accomplir Dream. C'est seule l'école là entre là-dedans diplôme déjà le mot.
Merci madame. Ou même qui chita dans le salon la caillou, qui fait une bonne école, ou l'école qui a un diplôme pour qu'elle joue un travail sans qu'elle saute. Choisis CNA Education. CNA Education est seule l'école où il y a un diplôme sans qu'elle saute, ou joue un travail sans qu'elle saute.
Adresse nous c'est 72.
Papa m'a donné l'argent café l'eau. Boss de c'est celle de moi qui va faire. Papa me connaît qui j'en ça dépassé. Chose à monter comme qu'est-ce qu'il y a moi pas l'hôtel pour café. Papa me dégaspiller dans grand chemin. Mes amis, wow.
Ça m'a dit la caille, les m'arrivé.
Mes amis, wow, lolo.
Ça m'a dit la caille, les m'arrivé.
Maman m'encale,
ça m'a dit la caille, les m'arrivé.
Mes amis, wow, lolo.
Ça m'a dit la caille, les m'arrivé.
Maman m'encale, papa m'encale, tendez.
Yon baiser café qui baille qui cassé. Le monde me voyait m'ba ouais raison pour pas aller. A fou qu'on va porter la jouette la compliqué. Je dame ne tirer bien mes.
Inside of Tele-Ibo's studio is Andy Schaller. He is our candidate for District 6, the County Commission seat, District 6. You are watching the MIH, but we want to make it happen in a different format. The end of the show is normally your chance to get in contact with the candidate. Whoever comes in here does not come in here because of us. They come in here because of you. Without knowing that you're watching this show, they wouldn't even come in here. But nonetheless, let's talk. Let's make sure you know how to get in touch with him, and in case you want to help him with his campaign, so that he can come knock on our doors, you can do that. Andy, if I would like to become a volunteer with your campaign, how do I work with your camp?
The easiest way is on the internet, which is my website is www.andrew, A-N-D-R-E-W, Schaller, S-C-H-A-L-L-E-R, andrewschaller.com. There you'll find my phone number, you'll find my Facebook number. My phone number is my cell phone number. Mm-hmm. Give that to anyone and everyone. What better?
What is your cell phone number?
561-346-6719.
561-346-6719. 561 346 67 19. 561 346 6719. 561 346 67 19. Ou même qui t'a fait volontaire ensemble avec Andy, travaille ensemble avec lui. What are the chances? I always ask candidates, what are the chances of any of these individuals who help out with your campaign knocking on your door, let's say a year later, and say, hey, I have a problem down in my neighborhood. How can you help out? What are the chances of you helping out with that?
Well, That's the whole reason for running, so the chances are very good. The only
that's your reason for running.
Yeah.
Because you were knocking on that door. You've been knocking on that door yourself for the past 6 years.
The only reason that I hesitate a little is county is limited to issues of the unincorporated area.
Only that deals with the county itself.
Right.
Which would be from the Haverhill, from the on the west side of Military, most of the time, most of the northern border, and heading out west.
Yeah, there's certain things that overlaps. Like the county is responsible for taxes on property, setting the millage rate and what you pay in taxes and spending that tax money for the most part for everyone in the county. But if you have an issue and you live in the city of Lake Worth or you live in the city of Belle Glade, the county doesn't have the jurisdiction over the municipality there. So it's the unincorporated areas that they have, I'll say, full jurisdiction. And then
unincorporated areas, for those of you who do not know, would be annexed area, or a little bit that the city itself does not necessarily take care of. I would take my area. I live within the unincorporated area, which happens to be the Haverhill area of 45th, and everything west of that would be unincorporated because the city of West Palm Beach does not take care of me, and yet I've got to get water from the city of Revere Beach. There are services that I don't get from the city of West Palm Beach, so the county automatically takes over that. The policing in my area is not taken care of by the city. It is taken care of by the county itself, which takes care of the sheriff, and the sheriff comes into my neighborhood. So you need to know whether or not you live in the unincorporated area. In your area, you may live in a certain city and still be in the unincorporated area.
That's correct. The amount of area that's unincorporated is getting smaller and smaller because the way it works is municipality is the city limits itself. And if there's a piece of property that literally touches the city limits, the owner of that property can then say, I'd like to be annexed in to be part of that municipality. And what you have left of the areas of unincorporated, that's the area of land that has been around forever that just never was part of the city limits of a municipality.
So with that being said, if anything that has to do with county, you can assist with. At this time, I would like to make sure that everyone who's watching does get a chance to go on teleebo.com and leave a comment for us. We would like to know what your thoughts are. If there's any question that you would like for us to ask these candidates as they make their way in, this is exactly how we're going to handle it. We need you to go in and do that. Remember to call 3 friends and tell 3 friends to tell 3 friends to go online if they don't live in Palm Beach County and check us out on teleebo.com. If they do live in Palm Beach County, anywhere in Palm Beach County, they can call us at 561-686-4364 in order to get an antenna so that they can watch. Television is free. You can get free television. You don't need to have a cable to watch television. And this is what we aim at. We're aiming at those of you who do not have to. You can get your cable and still watch free television. So television is free for you in this county. 57.2 Teleebo, we're there with you. And Mr. Schaller, what's your strength in this election?
I ran in 2010 also, and I had several thousand votes for me, not enough to win. And the strength I have is the diversified background. I've been in the area for 24 years in the district continuously. I've played around the lake, meaning in the lake, around the lake. I've done everything you can do from the fun out in the acreage to polo in Wellington. I really know the area because I've lived here and have enjoyed all the different amenities, as well as when I first got here, I wasn't very affluent whatsoever, and I used to buy my clothes from the Army-Navy store in the center of Belle Glade. So I've been there to the point now where I've been more successful with my business, and this area has been wonderful to me. It's time for me to give back to this area.
How much of the district have you knocked on doors and literally got in with the voters?
In 2010, I did as much as I possibly could, but it's never enough. This upcoming election I haven't done it enough yet.
But you have plenty of time because you have until November.
November. The tough part is explaining to someone that there's unknowns between now and the August 26th part, because until you know who's in the race, it's hard to really choose sides. And as a voter, I totally agree. When it gets narrowed down to these are the candidates, that's when my research steps up even more. So starting on the 27th, when I can tell everyone candidate A is a Democrat, candidate B is the independent, and they are running against me, it makes the conversations at the door so much easier.
Starting the 26th of this month, everyone who applied for an absentee ballot have their ballot in their hands. Most of those absentee ballots are probably on the way back in right now for the primary.
Correct, and school board.
For the primary in every election. You're not in the primary, so you're not concerned with that. But how do you plan on attacking these individuals who are going to get the early going out for early voting, going out with the absentee ballots? What are your plans to attack them?
Because there's such a wide range of where the absentee ballots can be. Some people vote here at home, and others vote abroad. It can be outside the state. It can be outside of anywhere. The standard protocol is to address the absentee voter by postcard, mail, or something to say, please understand that I will be on the general ballot. Please remember me, that sort of thing.
I know that you're on Facebook, because we're friends on Facebook.
Yes, well, yeah.
But other than Facebook, what other social media do you use to try to target the voters?
I have my own website that I try to keep up as strongly as I can. Any of the candidate forums that we've done so far, I believe there's 6 of them. The videos are up online, and I use extensive emailing from a list that I've cultivated over the last 4 years. What I try to do is I try to send out a newsletter. One just went out yesterday, and I try to contact as many people to say, here's something that you can use to then forward to others. And I have made one post on my site which shows the 6 different commission forums that we've had, so you can put everybody there and see us in action in front of the different groups, and you can hear our responses, and you can watch from the first one to the most current one and see if anybody's changed their opinions or changed anything, as well as I have a link to my 2010 website, so you can see whatever I said in 2010 is the same thing I'm saying in 2014 without much variation whatsoever.
Endorsement and money are 2 of the major things that decides who wins the election, as well as you knocking on doors. How are you doing with endorsement, and how are you doing with money? And are you at liberty of saying who your supporters are?
I learned something from a former county commissioner who said endorsements are very difficult, because when you run for office and you have an endorsement, you really should not have friends, because you pick up your friends' enemies. So when you have a list of 20, 30, 40 endorsements, there's somebody on there that probably has had a disagreement with somebody on your list, with one of the voters. I look at endorsements a different way. I have a number of businesses that are supporting me, and you can tell because when you go out, you'll see my poster in the window. You can go to my website and you will see a number of restaurants, the car washes. You'll see people that are endorsing me that way, because I want somebody to see.
In other words, you are endorsed, but you're not endorsed by the other politicians who have gained the votes, but you're endorsed by the people.
Well, remember
the local business owners.
Yes, but remember that this is also a partisan election, and I'm a Republican. So I can put up the name of every Republican that's endorsing me, and what does that really mean to a Democrat? The same way the Democrat can put up every list of endorsement of the Democrats. If you played for the Miami Dolphins, you would expect everybody on the team to support you if you were running. So I look at endorsements a little bit differently. I've had several thousand, 3,286 people put their faith and trust in me in 2010, and I'm hoping that this time it's closer to 30,000 to be able to win.
Well, let's use our favorite statement. Call 3 friends and tell 3 friends to tell 3 friends that you have watched this show here with with Andy Schaller. If you like Andy Schaller, you can always join Andy Schaller on Facebook. Send him a friend request. Let him know what's going on, or you can go onto his website. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the MIH. I am yours truly, the one and only, Salusa. And my guest is Andy Schaller, District 6 of the County Commission seat. His attempt to win the last time did not happen. Let's make it happen for him this time around. Thank you for watching. It's a pleasure. Andy, thank you for coming here.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
C'est directrice Siena Education Center. En dans l'école là qui ça n'a joué. Nous avons un programme qui commence depuis la home health aid, CNA, phlebotomy, patient care technician, LPN qui license practical nursing avec RN registered nursing program. En dans l'école là nous commençons tout petit avant nous grandir.